Hello everyone, welcome all of you to this series of IMS Blast from the Past. So in today's series, we'll be talking about data interpretation in LR, which is one of the important section as far as CAD is concerned. And now when I talk about DILR, it is considered to be accuracy-based paper. That means even if we attempt little on the lesser side, but we need to ensure that whatever we are doing, most of them should be correct, right? So if I talk about how to be a good at it is like because of exposure. So in this series, what we got to do is nothing but we'll talk about best of the past year question, which are relevant from CAT 24 and CAT 25 aspirant. And then we'll be taking through those questions in this series. Let's start with the first data set, which is on LR from games and tournament. So answer the questions based on the information given below. In a sports event, 6 teams, A, B, C, D, E, F, are competing against each other. Matches are scheduled in 2 stages. Each team plays 3 matches in stage 1 and 2 matches in stage 2. No team plays against the same team more than once in the event. No ties are permitted in any of the matches. That means there is always a result. The observation after the completion of the stage 1 and stage 2 are as given below. The stage 1 says one team won all the 3 matches, 2 teams lost all the matches, D lost to A but won against C and F. Then this says E lost to B but won against C and F. B lost at least 1 match. F did not play against the top team of stage 1. So these are data which is given for the stage 1, wherein this is information, and then they followed by stage 2 also. The leader of stage 1 lost the next 2 matches. Of the 2 teams at the bottom after stage 1, one has won both the matches, while the other team lost both the matches. One more team lost both the matches in stage 2. So there's the information which is given below, and based on that, we're supposed to solve questions which are there. Now, if you observe it, let's look at the data and also the question that follows it. So let's look at the question first of all. Now, if I look at the 2 teams that defeated the leader of stage 1 are, so options are given. Similarly, the only team or teams that won both the matches in stage 2 are the team that won exactly 2 matches in the event. Again, the options are there. Along with that, the team or teams with the most win in the event are all of these. Now, if you look at these questions, so the answer are nothing but unique. That means there's no possibility of this or this. That means with the given information, we'll be able to make the complete grid, and then thereby we'll be able to get the answer. So in these kind of a question, what we need to ensure is nothing but try and read every statement very carefully and then identify what we can infer from that. And this is going to be nothing but a games and tournament. So better is to make a grid and then identify, right? So let's make a table for that and then try and put in all the information, because stage 1, every team plays 3 matches, and then the next stage is going to be 2 matches, and the matches that are played in stage 2 are not with the team which they have played in the 1. So that is also one of the important things, right? So if I talk about and make a table for that, so let's make the table wherein I be writing the 6 teams in one of the column and the matches that they win and lose. Make this 2 separate things. Let's make it like this. So putting the data in a table makes it really clear, and then we'll be able to observe in a better way. So the moment I look at the questions are there with the answers which are fact-based, so what comes to the mind is going to be nothing but let's spend some time in making the table, and then once the table is fixed, all the questions which are pertaining to that will be a cakewalk. So the 6 teams are nothing but A, B, C, D, E, and F. And let's say for stage 1, win against, we lost against. Right. Let's see. One team won all the 3 matches. So one of them is 3 matches win in the first round. That means there's no loss. 2 teams lost all the 3 matches. Okay. So these are the information. We know that, but we cannot use it right now. Look at the third one. T lost to A, but won against C and F. So D won against C and F. Therefore, D won against C and F, but lost to A. Now, the moment I say D won against C and F, so therefore, indirectly, we can also say C lost against D and F also lost against D. So we can directly build that C lost against D and F also lost against. Then D lost to A, therefore A won against. So from this, we'll be able to fill in all this data. So tick this because we have used this. Next is E lost to B. So E lost to B, lost against B, but won against C and F. So that means C and F both lost against E. So therefore, C lost against E as well as F also lost against E. And then since E lost to B, therefore B won against E. That means this is how we'll be able to fill this. Now it says B lost at least one match. So I know B won against E, but B also lost at least one match. Okay, so this is one point which you need to keep in mind. Next is going to be F did not play against the top team of stage 1. Now that means F is not the top team, that is one, because, and it's also mentioned that it did not play against the top team. So now, after reading this, let's go back to the first and the second statement, which is there. The first statement was nothing but one team won all the 3 matches. Now, if you look at for A, there's a possibility because A has won one match against D. So A can be that contender who can win all the 3 matches. When you talk about B, it mentioned in the fifth point that B lost at least one match. Therefore, B cannot be that. Similarly, if you talk about C, D, E, and F, everyone has lost at least one match. Therefore, they cannot be the team who has won all the 3 matches. Therefore, the only option that we are left with is nothing but it's A who has won all the 3 matches in the round 1. So therefore, there is no loss for A in the round 1. And now, since we need to identify what are the 2 other teams against whom A has played, so for C and D, we know that, for D and E, all the 3 matches are there, right? So now A has already played against D. Now the other teams with whom A can play is going to be nothing but B. A can play against C. A can play against F. A has already played against D, that is there. So out of the 3 teams, A has to play against 2 in this round. And they have categorically mentioned the last point that F did not play against the top team. So thereby, you can say A, invariably, we know that's what the top team and cannot play against F in the round 1. So therefore, A played against B and since A won against B and C, so therefore, we can straight away say B and C lost against A. So therefore, we'll put that B lost against A and therefore, C also lost against A. Right? So that means now C is one of those teams who has lost all the 3 matches, right? So we know about the team who has won all the 3 matches. So the team who has lost all the 3 matches is nothing but C. Now, if you look at the only team who can lost all the 3 matches other than C is going to be nothing but F. So thereby we can straight away say F also lost the 3rd match. Now we need to identify F played against which team. Now A has already 3 matches done for the round 1. C also, D also, E also. Now the only team which is there who has to play one more match in the round 1 other than F is going to be B. And since F has to lost that match, lost against B, therefore I'll just put that B and thereby B wins against F. And that's the tally for this. So the point to be noted out here is going to be nothing but sometimes the first or second information, we may not be able to fill it. But the moment I look at the 3rd or the 4th condition, we get some clue and then we can come back to the previous one, right? Okay. So now first stage is done. Let's look at stage 2, what they have stated in that. Okay. Stage 2 says the leader of stage 1 lost the next 2 matches. So I know who's the leader. It's going to be A and A has lost the 2 matches. Now, if you look at the condition, no team plays against the same team more than once in the event. Now that means in the next round, which is going to be the stage 2, A will not play against those teams with whom A has already played. So let's try and figure out. First of all, very great, because then the clarity would be there in terms of what exactly is happening, and then probably we can take it forward. Let me make the table for the same. Let's see the table. So the reason of changing the colors for me nothing but just to have this is nothing but I'm talking about things. Okay. Now let's read the first statement very carefully. The leader of the stage 1 lost the next 2 matches. Now the leader was A and lost. So again, we'll write win against and lost against. So A lost both the matches, therefore no win. A has already played against B, C, D. So thereby, now the other 2 teams which are there is going nothing but E and F. So that means E lost. So if A lost against E and F, so thereby we can say E and F both won against A. So E won against A, F also won against A. So now this I'll be able to say. So the next statement says, of the 2 teams at the bottom after stage 1, so the 2 teams at the bottom were nothing but, who have lost all the 3 matches, the teams were nothing but C and F. So of the 2 teams at the bottom after stage 1, one team won both the matches, right? While the other lost both the matches. So out of those C and F, one of those has won both the matches while the other has lost both the matches. Now from the previous statement which was there, we got to know that A lost against F. So therefore, F has already won one match, and when F was there in the bottom in the stage 1. So therefore, F is that team that has won both the matches, right? So thereby, F won against A. Now the other match that F has to play, because already played against B, E, D, and now played against A also. So therefore, F won against C as well. Now if F won against C, so therefore, C lost against F. Now that means I know the bottom 2 team out of C and F, F has won. So therefore, the other team C has lost both the matches. So therefore, C already played against A, E, D in the round 1. So now C will play against 2 teams which are nothing but one is B, the other is F, and has to lose again both the team. Therefore, C lost to B as well. So now if C lost to B, therefore B won against C. This is how I'm able to fill it right now. So that means I'm got to know, fill this also. So we have got for C has lost against F and B. So therefore B won against C and thereby F also. So we've filled this. Okay. Right now, one more team lost both the matches in stage 2. Now, apart from the topper and one out of C and F, one more team lost both the matches, and now B cannot be that team because B has already won one match. Similarly, E cannot be that team. So the only team which is left who has to lose all the matches in the round stage 2 is going to be D, and thereby we can say D also lost both the matches in the stage 2. Now, D has already played against A, C, and F. Now, the other 2 teams which are there is going to be nothing but B and so that is how we'll be able to identify that D lost against B and E. Therefore, B and E won against D. So B won against D and E also won against D. So that means 2 matches are done for all the teams and in the entire league is filled. Now, what you have observed is nothing but once I'm able to read the data very carefully and try and use it, so this is how I'll be able to completely fill the grid. So even if it takes little extra time, now I know once the table is filled, all the question would be a cakewalk, right? So that means this is how I'll be able to fill it. Now let's look at the question. The 2 teams that defeated the leader of stage 1 are. So leader of stage 1 was A, and the two teams that defeated is going to be nothing but E and F. So thereby we can say for this, the actually going to be nothing but shooting. The only team or teams that won both the matches in stage 2 are. Now, stage 2, the team that have won all the 2 matches, one is B, the other is E, and the third is going to be F. So BEF as 1. So BEF as 1, that means option number 4 is the answer. The team that won exactly 2 matches in the event. Wow. So exactly 2 matches in the event means put together stage 1 and stage 2. So for A has won 3 matches. For B has won 2 in the round 1, 2 in the round 2, that means 4 matches. C has lost all 5. D has won 2. So that means D has won 2 matches. When you talk about E has won 4, right? F also has. So the question says the team that has won exactly 2 matches is probably D and F. And thereby, if you look at D and F is option number. That's probably nothing, but it's from B and F. Now, looking at the last question for this, the team with the most win in the event. Now, when we talk about most win in the event are, so just observe it. A has 3. We have done that. B already has 4. C lost all 4. D, E also has got 2 in the first round, 2 in the second round. That means 4. So thereby, B and E are the 2 teams that has 1. So therefore, my answer to this is nothing but now, so look at carefully the questions not of this is how I need to take. And this way, probably all the questions which are related to this or which takes a leap out of this can easily be solved by looking at this. Right. So that's how we'll be able to. Now look at this question. Answer the following question based on the information given below. For admission to various affiliated colleges, a university conducts a written test with 4 different sections, each with the maximum marks of 50 marks. The following table gives the aggregate as well as the sectional cutoff marks fixed by 6 different colleges affiliated to the university. A student will get admission only if he or she gets marks greater than or equal to the cutoff marks in each of the section, and his or her aggregate marks are at least equal to the aggregate cutoff as specified by the college. So that means in order to get admission, you need to clear 2 criteria. One is that you need to clear the sectional cutoff also, and also the overall cutoff. Then only you need to get admission or you are eligible for that particular college. Now, if you look at the table, it says college 1 has got cutoff for section A 42, section B 42, similar section C, but there is no cutoff for section D. But the overall score required for college admission in college 1 is going to be nothing but 176. Similarly, if I look up for college 2, though there's a cutoff for B and C, and the overall cutoff is also there, and similarly it is given that. Okay. So that means from this we'll be able to identify that some colleges have got a sectional cutoff for some of the section, but there's an overall cutoff for all colleges. Right. So in order to get admission, obviously you need to fulfill both the criteria. So table is 10. Let's look into what exactly they're talking the questions. Bahama got called from all the colleges. What could be the minimum aggregate marks obtained by her? Okay, so to get a call, obviously, we need that sectional cutoff as well as the overall cutoff. Similarly, look at the second question. Charlie got called from 2 colleges. What could be the minimum marks obtained by him in a section? In a particular section, what could be the minimum value? And the third question says, Aditya did not get a call even from a single college. So what would be the maximum aggregate marks obtained by him? So basically, so what are you supposed to do in nothing but in all the 3 questions they're talking about, what could be the minimum or what could be the maximum score? Let's try and read question number 1 again and then look at how we have to go about this. Okay. It says, Bahama got called from all colleges. What could be the minimum aggregate marks obtained by her? Now, if you look at, if we're supposed to get a call from all the colleges, so that means I need to fulfill the criteria for the sectional cutoff also, and also the one. Now, if I look at it for college 1, 4, and 5, there is a sectional cutoff for section 8. So thereby, if we have to get a call from 1, 4, 5, so we need to have minimum score of 45, because if it is less than that, obviously college 5 will not be there in the picture. Why? Because we will not be able to clear the cutoff. Similarly, when you talk about section B, so there's a cutoff for college 1, 2, and 6. So in order to get call from all the colleges, so we need to get a score which is equal to or more than the cutoff which is there, right? Since we are looking out for what can be the minimum score, therefore we'll look at what could be the minimum score in section B. So thereby we need to have 45 here also, otherwise college 2 is out of the picture. Let's look at section C. Section C has got cutoff for most number of colleges, which is 4, 1, 2, 3, and 5. So again, in order to do the same process, we need to have minimum 46, otherwise we'll not be able to get a call. And similarly for section D, if you look at, so there are college 4 and 6, so thereby we need minimum 45, then we'll need this. So these are the sectional score that is required in order to get a call, because if any of the section has got less marks than what is written, that means a student will not be able to get a call from that particular college, and thereby the call from all the colleges will not be satisfied. So now if we add all this, it is coming out to be 45 plus 45, 90 plus 46 is going to be 136, 136 plus 45 is going to be 181. So that means in order to get a call, 181 minimum score is required, which is sum total of sectional cutoff. And now if we look at what is the aggregate cutoff for all the colleges, so all the colleges have got aggregate cutoff which is less than 181. That means the moment sectional cutoff is cleared, the sum total is going to be 181. So that means student is eligible for all the colleges, because now the sectional as well as the overall cutoff is cleared, and thereby we can say 181 score is needed for this. Now, had there been one aggregate cutoff which is more than 181, let's say 183. So in that case, I know 181 will suffice for the sectional cutoff, but then in order to get the clearance for all the colleges, I need to have cleared the overall cutoff also. So thereby my score has to be equal to the one which is the highest for the aggregate, and thereby that would happen. But in this case, because every score for the overall aggregate score is less than 181, so therefore with the score of 181, it is possible to get calls from all, and this is the minimum score which is there. So therefore, question, Mama got called, they are scoring up to that. Now, Charlie got called from 2 colleges. Okay, so that means exactly 2 colleges he has got a call. What could be the minimum marks obtained by in a section? Now, what I want is nothing but, one, he has to get a call from 2 colleges, right? And we want to minimize number of marks in a particular section. So first of all, I need to look at if Charlie has to get a call from 2 colleges, so Charlie has to fulfill the criteria of the overall cutoff also, right? And also the section cutoff, right? So when we look at the table again, so we'll observe that in order to get 2 calls, if you look at the aggregate score, so the minimum is 171, the next is going to be 175. So that means Charlie has to get at least 175 score, otherwise he'll not be able to get the overall cutoff clear for the 2 colleges, right? Okay, that's one. And when he get score of 175, so what he can do is nothing but he can clear the college 2 also and college 3 also. So the minimum score which is needed overall to get 2 calls is not to be 175. Now the question says we need to minimize the score in a particular section. So now if a score in a particular section have to be minimized, so that means score in the other 3 sections has to be maximized. Keeping that thing in mind that the sectional cutoff will be cleared. Now if I look at for college 2 and 3, there's no sectional cutoff for section A. Similarly, there's no sectional cutoff for section D. That means because there's no sectional cutoff for D. So what I do in other words, just give minimum score for this and 25. What is the minimum value? So now out of 175, if I can give maximum score to section E, section B, and section C, so automatically the score of section D will be minimized. Now out of 175, the maximum score that can be achieved in one of the sections is going to be nothing but equal to the complete full marks. Since every test is out of 50, which they have mentioned in the question, so therefore, at max, a score of 50 can be achieved in section 1. Similarly, section B also 50, and so as section C as 150. So that makes it 150 could be the maximum number of score that can be achieved by a student in combining the first 2-3 sections. Now, in order to get 175, so that means still 25 is needed, because otherwise the overall cutoff will not be cleared, and thereby we can straight away say the minimum score for a particular section will be 25, otherwise the cutoff will not be cleared. And with this score 175, so we can straight away say that college 2 and 3 are there with sectional as well as overall cutoff clear. Now the score of 25 can be done for section A also, wherein I can maximize BCD. So again, the story would remain same, and thereby I got to know that it is going to be nothing but, right? So that's how we'll be able to calculate. Now this question, without even actually looking, I can eliminate option number 1 and 2. Why? Because I know I need a score of 175. So the minimum score needed is going to be nothing but, 175. And at the same time, if I look at the other two options, which is 35 and 41, right? So in that case, if I say minimum score is going to be 35 in this, so that will make the sum total to be 185 or 195, 191. So that is again, it's not possible. Why? Because we are looking out for minimum score in a particular section, right? So thereby, the options are such that we can eliminate all except one, and thereby we can get the answer, but the logical is also clear there. Yes, okay. Now, if you look at the last question for this, it says, Aditya did not get a call from even a single college. What could be the maximum aggregate marks obtained by Aditya? Now, here what I'm supposed to do is nothing but, I don't want to get a call from any of the college, but at the same time, I need to maximize my score. So in order to maximize score, therefore, the only way student will not be able to get a call is by not clearing the sectional cutoff. So my aim is nothing but what could be the maximum score and still not able to get a call. Now, if you look at the table carefully, right? So section A, there are 3 colleges which have put a cutoff. For section B, again 3 colleges. For section C, it's going to be 4 colleges. Section D has got cutoff for 2 colleges, right? So now I want a person should not get a call from any of the single college. They should not get this. So now just observe it very carefully. Can I say just observe for minimum section to have removed from more of the college is only possible if we look at a student get a score which is less than the score required, and thereby he will not be considered for that college, right? If you look at section C has cutoff for most number of colleges. So now if you look at section C, college 1 has kept a cutoff for 42, college 2 has kept a cutoff for 45, 46 is for 3, and college 5 has got a cutoff of 43. Now, if Aditya gets a score which is less than the required cutoff, so he'll not be considered for these colleges, right? So I know 42, 45, 46, and 43 in section C. If he gets a score which is less than 42, that means, let's say, he gets a score of 41. Now, with a score of 41, we know that he is not able to clear the cutoff for 1, 2, 3, and 5. That means he will not be considered for these 4 colleges, irrespective of his total score, whatever it is, as large as possible, but still he will not be considered. Why? Because of the sectional cutoff. So that means 1, 2, 3, and 5 are out of the picture. Now we need to look at which section will kept him away from the college 4 and 6. Now, for 4 and 6, if you look at, section A has got 4, but 6 is not there. Section B has got cutoff for 6, but 4 is not there. While for section D, it is going to be nothing but there is a cutoff for college 4 as well as college 6. Now, if we put a cutoff for section A, I'll be able to only limit college 4. And then for college 6, again, I need to limit the cutoff for section B, then only college 6 will be out of the picture. So that way we need to put a cutoff for this. Therefore, the only place where we can give a maximum marks in that case is going to be nothing but section B. But the moment I put a cutoff for section D, so now what will happen? Nothing but both the colleges 4 and 6 will be out of the picture. Why? Because their cutoff is not cleared. And now, irrespective of the score in the section A and B, a student will not be able to get a cutoff. So now if we look at section D, it's going to be 45 and 44 are the cutoffs. So if, let's say, Aditya gets a score of 43, so getting a score of 43 kept him away from college 4 and 6, and a score of 41 in section C will keep him away from 1, 2, 3 as well as. So that means 1, 2, 3, 5 are out of the picture from section C, and 4 and 6 are out of the picture from section D. So now he will not be able to get a call irrespective of his score in section A and B. Since I need to maximize his total score, so what I want to do that, but I'll just give him maximum score for A, maximum for B, but I know even if he gets 50 in section A and B, he will not be able to. So now if you add all the score that Aditya got, is going to be nothing but 50 plus 50 plus 41 plus 43, 100 plus 41, 141 plus 43, going to be 100. So if he gets a score of 184, which is actually more than the aggregate cutoff for all colleges, but he's still not be able to get. Why? Because he's not able to clear the section. Right. So we put a barrier on that section C and D, which makes him ineligible for all the colleges, and thereby this 184 is the score. Even if he get that, he will still not be considered for any of the colleges, and thereby the distance. Right. So that's a bit written. Let's look at the question. A management institute was established on January 1, 2000 with 3, 4, 5, 6 faculty members in the marketing, organizing behavior, finance, and operation management areas respectively. Okay, so that means 3, 4, 5. To start with, no faculty member retired or joined the institute in the first 3 months of the year 2000. In the next 4 years, the institute recruited 1 faculty members in each of the 4 areas. All these new faculty members who joined the institute subsequently over the years were 25 years old at the time of their joining the institute. All of them joined the institute on April 1. During these 4 years, one of the faculty members retired at the age of 60. The following diagram gives the area-wise average age in terms of the number of completed years of faculty members as on April 1 of 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003. So primarily it is the data which is given for 4 faculty members, right? I mean, marketing, then we've got organizing behavior, finance, and also the operation management. Now, they've also given you the number of people. That means there are 3 members in marketing, 4 in OB, organizing behavior, then we've got 5 in the finance, and the remaining 6 are then the operation. And now they've mentioned that there is a joinee in all these departments in the next 4 years. That means right from 1st of April 2000 till 2003. So there is a joinee in all the departments. And also, 1 person has retired at the age of 60 in one of these departments. Right. And then they've given you the table also, which says marketing, 49.33 is the average in 2000. Then it becomes 44, 45, 46. Similarly, the other data is. Now, the key point to note is going to be nothing but if you look at carefully for all the 4 departments, initial average is 49.33, 50.5, 50.2 and 45 respectively for all the 4 departments. Now there is a joinee 25 years in all these at certain point of time. Now from an average which is higher, if somebody with the lesser age joins the group, so average will reduce. So that means the inclusion of a new faculty will decrease the average for all these 4 groups. At the same time, there's a person who's retiring at the age of 60. Now, when a 60 years is moves out of the system, that means from the current average, which is less than 60, if 60 moves out of the system, that means that person will take some part of the average and thereby resultant average will decrease. So that means two learning from there. If somebody joins a group of 25 years in an average which is more, so the average will reduce, and when 60-year person retires, again the average will reduce. If there is no change, so every year, because every person will increase by 1 year, so therefore average will also increase by. Now, if you carefully observe for the marketing, 2000, the average was 49.33, then it dipped to 44. So that means either a person has retired or a new joinee has joined, and then there's a corresponding increase, 44, 45, 46. That means now no changes there. So both the things can also happen, that a person retires as well as a new joinee joins in. That is also one possibility. Similarly, for OB also, if we look at, so there is a shift from 52.5 in 2002 to the average become 41.5. Again, there is one dip. Now, the moment I look at dip for finance, now from 50.2, it is changing to 49. And further from 49 to 45, that means there are two dips. And thereby we'll be able to say that one person must have joined, and the other year, there's one person who must have retired. So that is how we'll be able to figure out that, because the changes are two different dips are there in the finance. So that gives me nothing but the person who is retired is only from finance only. And similarly, if I look at OM, so again, from 45 to 43, so again, we can say that there is a dip. That means there is a new joinee which is there. Now, so from this, I got to know that in marketing, the joinee is in the year 2001. Similarly, when you talk about for OB, it is in 2003. For OM, it is in 2001. Why for finance? I know there are two dates, so therefore I need to figure out which year is going to be nothing but a new joinee and which is going to be nothing but there is a retirement bias. Now I know, if let's talk about marketing first. $49.33 and there are three members. So therefore, I will straight away say the sum of those three person will be 49.33 into 3, which is equal to nothing but 148. So that means the sum of the ages is nothing but at this department in 2000 was nothing but 148. And if we look at for next year, because there is a new joinee which is there, so now had the joinee would not have been joined, the average for these three would have been 50.33. And their sum would have been nothing but 50.33 into 3. So that means these three person is equal to 151 for these three members only. But for four members, it is got nothing but 44 into 4, which is 176. So 176 is the sum of ages of all four. Out of those, the previous three were 151. So thereby we can straight away say that the new joinee is equal to nothing but 3. Hence, it is verified. That means I'm able to know the person has joined. Similarly, we'll be able to see the joining in OB is going to be this. And now for finance, we need to identify which year it is going to be nothing but the joinee is there and which year we have got the person who has retired. Now, if we look at for finance, the total number of members is going to be nothing but 5. So that means if I say 50.2 is going to be nothing but the average for 5 people. Therefore, their sum will be, this is for finance, is equals to 50.2 into 5 is going to be nothing but 251. Now, had the person not moved or person have not joined, neither retired nor joined, so these 5 people, the sum would increase by 5 because everyone's age will increase by 1. So therefore, the sum in the next year, that is in 2001, for the finance would have been nothing but 256 for these 5 people only. But now, the moment I look at, the average is 49. Now, average is 49. Now, if a person has joined, this would have been an average of 6 people. If the person has retired, this would have been an average of the remaining 4. Right? So now what we'll do, nothing but we'll take both the cases into consideration. So if the person has joined, so in that case, the sum of these 6 people should be 49 into 6, which is coming out to be nothing but 294. Now, this should have been sum of 6 people, the person who has joined, and the sum of the remaining earlier 5 were nothing but 256. So therefore, the person who has joined, the age of that person will be 294 minus 256, which is not equal to 25. Hence, we can straight away say that a person has not joined in 2001. Therefore, this is. Now, let's cross-check for had the person retired. So, in that case, 49 is the average age of the remaining 4 people. So, 49 into 4, it's going to be nothing but 196. So, sum of 5 is 256, while the sum of 4 is 196. If we take a difference of that, so it is coming out to be nothing but 60 years. So that gives me that a person retired from finance in the year 2001. There is a person who was retired. And then we can straight away say next year should have been a joinee which is there. So we can straight away say this. That means the clarity is there. Let's look at the question, what they are asking in this. Okay. So first question is, from which area did the faculty member retire? Now we know that because there are only 2 dips, only in one section, and that section was nothing but finance. So that means a person has retired from the finance department in the year 2001. Okay. So from which area did faculty member retire? It's got to be nothing but from finance. That means my answer is got to be question number 1. What are the beautiful example in terms of wherein we using the concept of average and moving out and joining in the entire of the average, right? Let's look at the next question. It says, Professor Naresh and Devesh, 2 faculty members in marketing area who have been with the institute since the inception, share a birthday which falls on 20th of November. One was born in 1947, while the other one is born in 1950. So both of them born were on 20th November, right? And on April 1, 2005, what was the age of the 3rd faculty member who has been in the same area since inception? Now, we know that in the marketing, they're given that initially there are 3 members, right? So now they're asking what is the age of the 3rd member. They're not asking in 2000. They're asking what is the age of the 3rd member in the year 2005. So what we do nothing but we'll just try and calculate what is the age of that person in the year 2000, and then adding 5 to that will give me the answer for that, right? Okay. Now, if I look at carefully, 49.33 is nothing but the average of 3. We have just calculated that the sum of the ages of these 3 persons in the year 2000 is nothing but 148. Let's try and figure it out. Okay, so 148 is the age of 3 persons. In the year 2000, out of them, one is Naresh, plus the Devesh, and the 3rd person. Now, the age of Naresh on 1st of April 2000 from 20th November 1947, we calculate it is coming out from 20th November 47 to 20th November 1999. It is 52 years. And then from 20th November till 1st of April, it's going to be close to 4 months. Now, if you look at carefully the data which is there, the data is given for age in numbers of completed years. So that means the moment I say the age is 52 years and few months, so it will be taken as 52 years. Now, if we talk about age of Devesh, who was born 3 years after that, that is going to be 1950. So the age will be 3 years less. So therefore, it is going to be 49 years for Devesh and 4 months, which will be taken as 49 in completed year. So therefore, combined age of Naresh and Devesh in completed year is going to be 52 plus 49, which is equals to 101. While the age of all 3 faculties who were there from the inception is 148 years as on 1st of April 2000, as mentioned in the data. So therefore, the third faculty is going to be nothing but 148 minus 101, which is equals to 47 years in the year 2000. Now the question says, what was the age of the third faculty who was there since the inception as on 1st April 2005? So I know 1st April 2000, it was 47 years. So 2005 will be exactly 5 years more than that. So 47 plus 5 is going to be 52. And that is going to be my answer. Because they have stated in completed year, therefore we have to take it this way, right? So this is how we're able to solve and get this. Now look at the next question. This is small calculation based on this question, but then again, if you are able to fill the data completely and you are able to diagnose it, identify it, it is. Let's look at the third question. It says, in which year did the new faculty member join the finance area? Now we know that we just talked about that. In the year 2001, a person retired, while in the next 2002, a person has joined. Therefore, it is going to be 2002. What was the age of a new faculty member who joined OM area as on 1st April 2003? So we are supposed to identify the year when that person joined in OM. So for OM, a person has joined in 2001, 1st April, and the age at that point of time was nothing but 25. So therefore, age of a person in 2003 is going to be nothing but 2 years more than that. Therefore, it's going to be nothing but 26. So what you have seen is nothing but out of these 4 questions, the only question number 2 requires some calculation. But otherwise, the other 3 are nothing but doable once I'm able to fill that. Now, the learning from that is going to be nothing but if we come across, let's say, 4 questions. So we should not move in a chronological order that I'll do first, then 2, then 3, then 4. We should try and identify which question will take less time and therefore I'll be doing it. Because if let's say there are 3 questions which will take, maybe assuming 5 minutes and the 4th question required 5 more minutes, I will actually not do it. Right? Because at the end of the day, accuracy-based paper will look out for more number of correct answers such that I'm able to get a decent answer. Right? I hope, you have added some value, you're able to get this, right? Okay. Right.